So we're gonna explain about the science consumer behavior. The science consumer behavior students eh, how and why people choose, buy, use, or elevate products or services. It focuses on understanding the thoughts, emotion, and motivation that influence buying decision according to the American Psychological Association through its Division 23. Consumer psychology uses psychological theories and research to understand how consumers behave in the market. Consumer psychologists analyze different factors that affect pur- purchasing decisions. One of these is how consumers choose business products and services. People usually People usually compare options before deciding what to buy. Another factor is thought process and emotion behind the decisions. For example, a person may buy a product because it makes them feel happy, confident, or satisfied. External influences also play an important role in consumer behavior. Friends and family, media, culture, and struggle affect what people choose to buy. Advertisements, advertisements, social media trends, and recommendations from others can shape consumers' preference. In addition, psychologists studied what motivates people to, to choose one product over another, such prices, quality, brand reputation, or convenience. Personal characteristics also affect buying behavior. Age, personality, lifestyle, income, and personal preference can influence how individuals shop. What they personal first, what they prefer. Sorry. Because of this, marketers study consumers' behavior to learn how to effectively reach their target consumers and create products or advertisements that appeal to prefer. Because of this, marketers study consumers' behavior to learn how to effectively reach their target customers and create products or advertisements that appeal to them. Different scholars have defined consumers' behavior in various ways. In 1974, Walters described consumers' behavior as the process by which individuals decide whether, what, when, where, how, and from whom to purchase goods and services. The, this definition emphasizes the decision-making progress. Later, Moen defined in 1983 defined consumers' behavior as the study of buying units and exchange of process involved in acquiring, using, and disposing of goods, services, experience, and ideas. This definition highlights that consumers' behavior involves not only individual but also groups. Meanwhile, Schiffen, Mart, and Kanu in 1997 defined consumers' behavior as the actions consumers take when searching for purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing of products or services. They also identify two types of consumers: personal consumers, those consumers, people who buy products for personal or household use. Another one is organizational consumers, businesses or institutions that purchase goods or service to operate.
Good morning everyone, my name is Jonalyn Kayabyab and the topic is behaviorism. So what is behaviorism? Behaviorism is also known as behavioral psychology, which states that all behaviors are learned through interactions with the environment through process called conditioning. the behaviorist movement is behavior began in 1913, and John Watson wrote an article titled Psychology as the Behaviorist Views It. And the behaviorist, we learn new behavior through classically and operant conditioning, also known as learning theory. So ang behaviorism ay nagre-reflect sa iyo bilang tao at kung paano ka makisama. Also, nakapokus ito sa nakikitang pag-uugali at naniniwala na ang kilos o asal ay natututunan sa pamamagitan ng karanasan.
Today, I will discuss the cognitive approach. This approach explains that people's behavior is influenced by how they think, understand information, and make decisions in consumer behavior. People usually analyze advertisement, product quality, and price before buying a product. Psychological theories also support this approach, such as Freud theory and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which explain that humans' behavior is influenced by needs and motivations. In conclusion, the cognitive approach shows that people think carefully and process information before making decisions. Some models explain this approach. The economic model says consumers choose products that give them the most satisfaction. The social psychological model explains that culture, family, and social class influence buying behavior. The Pavlovian learning model shows that people develop preferences through experience and repeated exposure.
The economic model proposed by Marshall suggests that individuals will allocate their income toward purchasing goods that provide them with the most satisfaction, taking account their preference and the prices of the goods available. It provides a framework for understanding how prices determine competitive markets, emphasizes the importance of consumer preference and resource allocation. It forms the basis for macroeconomic analysis, including the study of market behavior, pricing, and welfare economy.
It will be done from Block E, and I'll be discussing the socio-psychological model proposed by Veblen. It focuses on how human behavior groups and needs are shaped by the norms and standards of their culture, subculture, and social groups. So basically, this offers an alternative lens on consumer behavior by prioritizing social emulation over individual utility. It also argues that people's wants and actions are molded by their desire to mimic higher status groups, particularly the leisure class, through visible displays of wealth. Two examples of these models is number 1, when people buy high-end items like watches or bags, not for superior function but to signal wealth and prestige to peers. Number 2 is owning a Ferrari or Lamborghini showcases economic power via conspicuous consumption, where the flashy designs and cost advertise success within the elite circles. Next is the Pavlovian learning model. It is based on the idea that learning occurs through associations and that much of human behavior is conditioned in this way. This model is all about how we learn habits through simple connections, like dog salivating to a bell in Pavlov experiments, and it applies to why we buy stuff on autopilot. This model includes 4 central concepts, which is the drive, cue, response, and reinforcement. The drive is the inner push, like feeling hungry or stressed, that gets you motivated to act. Like your stomach's growing makes you crave a snack. The cue is like a trigger in environments such as seeing a McDonald's sign or a sale ad that sparks the idea to respond right away. The response is the actions you take, like grabbing fast food or clicking buy now because of that cue. While the reinforcement is the good feeling of payoff after, like enjoying the burger or anything, which makes you repeat the whole thing next time the cue pops up. Next is the according to Freudian psychoanalytical model. According to this model, the id is the source of strong urge and drives in human. It represents raw, instinctual drives like a hunger for pleasure, power, or pushing impulsive purchases for immediate gratification. It ignores reality or consequences, seeking unchecked satisfaction like craving junk food late at night despite health goals. The ego acts as the rational manager, balancing the its demands with real world's limit like budget or availability. It delays gratification or finds compromises such as choosing a healthier snacks brands that still feels indulgent, preventing id-driven regrets. While the superego enforces moral standards from society, family, or cultures, generating guilt or shame over wrong urges. Next is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This provides insight into motivations of human being based on hierarchy of needs, with consumers seeking to satisfy lower level. Next is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This provides insight into motivations of human being based on hierarchy of needs, with consumers seeking to satisfy lower level needs before moving on higher level needs. Each level of need is more important than the one before, and the process continues as the consumer aspires to fulfill higher level needs. Maslow's hierarchy of need is a pyramid theory by Abraham Maslow that explains human motivations, including consumer behavior, through 5 levels where lower needs must be mostly satisfied before higher ones drive action. At the base or lower are physiological needs like food, water, etc. Next is safety, covering security, stability, health, and financial protection. The third level involves love and belongings, fueling purchases like gift or trendy clothes. At the top is self-actualization, pursuing personal growth through levels, hobbies, or education once basic needs are met.
I shop, therefore I am. I have, therefore I am. According to the Angel-Blackwell model or ABM model, the consumer decision-making process is influenced and shaped by a number of factors and determinants categorized in 3 broad categories, namely individual differences, environmental influence, and psychological processes. Individual differences. This refers to the personal characteristic of consumers that affect their decision. This includes consumer resources, the money, time, and energy a person has. Second, knowledge. What the consumer already know about product or service. Third, attitudes. The consumer's feeling or opinion about something. Fourth, motives. The reason why a person wants to buy or use something. Next, personality. The unique traits that influence behavior. Values. Beliefs about what is important in life. And last, lifestyle. The way a person lives and spends their time and money. Second, environmental influences. These are external factors around a person that affect their decision. Number 1. Culture. The tradition, beliefs, and customs of society. 2. Social class. A person's economic or social position. 3. Personal influence by friends, classmates, or people around them. And family. Family member who influence choices. And last, situation. The circumstances at the moment, time, place, mode, and etc. Third category, Psychological processes. These are the mental steps a person goes through when deciding to buy something. 1. Need recognition. Realizing there is a need or problem. 2. Search for alternatives. Looking for different opinions. 3. Information processing. Thinking about and understanding the information. Pre-purchase evaluation. Comparing choices before buying. Purchase. Deciding to buy the product. Consumption and post-consumption evaluation. Using the product and deciding if it was good or not. Divestment. What happens when using the product? Example, throwing away, selling, or recycling.
Hi, my name is Janelle Doria from Block D, and I'm going to discuss to you the self-concept and self-image. So, previous research has highlighted the importance of self-concept and consumer preference in influencing consumer purchasing behavior. So, according to Onkivis and Shaw, 1981, consumers' self-image has a direct impact on their buying decisions. While Sergi, 1982, introduced the concept of self-image, congruity, which refers to the process of consumers purchasing products or brands that align with their symbolic self-image. This theory suggests that products and brands convey symbolic meaning and images, and consumers use them to communicate their self-image to themselves and others. Sang Choi and Tinkman, 2012, noted that the similarity between the characteristic of a brand and the characteristic of consumer associated with their self-concept. So, ipapakita ko ang aking explanation dito. So, ang self-concept ay tumutukoy sa kung papaano natin nakikita ang ating sarili. At ang self-image naman ay kung papaano tayo tignan ng mga tao ayon sa nais natin. So, ayun lamang po at susunod na ang next part.
I'm Joel Labertan and this is my video report about consumer culture. Consumer culture shapes our identity and sense of self through the goods and services we consume. Research by Dietmar et 2007 shows that material possessions are closely tied to our psychological identity, communicating and symbolizing who we are. To ourselves and other well-treasured possessions can provide comfort and continuity, especially during change or crisis. Excessive consumerism can have negative effects. A balanced approach to consumption can promote self-esteem and well-being, but it's crucial to recognize the potential pitfalls of consumer culture.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Kirao from Block E. And so today we'll talk about how social media influence us to buy. And so, social media transformed the shopping experience from a purposeful search, going a store for a specific item, into a contract passive discovery. It influenced us by blending entertainment with commerce, making buying feel like a natural part of our social interaction.
Shaping the way we see ourselves. The role of consumers culture on our sense of self and identity, the good and the bad. Now the rise of the consumer is impacting the developing world. As we develop, countries mature, you'll find a new advertisement for good or service around the globe. The labels price as people buy items. They want innovative products continue to call for purchase. And these are the consumers' pros and cons to evaluate today. The pros of consumers. Consumerism stimulate growth economics. Number 3. It also boosts creative and innovation. Next. Cost reduction are encouraged because of the consumerism. It weeds out the poor performers naturally. Consumerism encourage freelancing, entrepreneurialism, and self-employment. It creates safe goods for consumers. Consumers are given more choices in this society. The explanation of the good and the bad of the consumers. The consumers' culture influence how people see themselves and their identity to encourage the purchase of goods and services. It simultaneous economic growth, encourage innovation, and creative lowers cost through competition. Supports local entrepreneurship, improves product safety, and gives consumers more choice.
Good day everyone. Today I will discuss the cons of consumerism. Consumerism is the culture that encourages people to buy many products and services. However, it also has negative effects. Overspeeding. People buy things they do not really need. Environmental damage. More products mean more waste and pollution. Materialism. People focus more on positions than important things like relationship. Inclusion. Consumerism has disadvantage, so people should learn to buy responsibly and only purchase what they truly need.
The practice of religion beliefs in supernatural being and power. Ang Pilipinas ay mostly Roman Catholic, over 86%, while ang mga Muslim ay 5% lamang sa South. Before Spanish colonization, indigenous beliefs centered on multiple deities and spirits. Si Bathala ang kinikilalang pinakamataas na lumikha. At may mga handog na dasal. Shamans, priests were influential o pinakamalaking papel, ang may pinakamalaking papel. And ang iba ay gumagawa ng anting-anting charms believed to provide invincibility o kalasag laban sa mga anomalya like yung mga masasamang spirito or mga kamalasan gano'n. Next is Anitism. Anitism, paniniwala sa anito, diwata o kaluluwa. Anito statue figures. Diwata, ito ay yung mga nagbabantay sa kagubatan, sa bundok o ilog. Mga sinasabi natin na nanliligaw sa atin pag pupunta tayo ng mga bundok, tapos magpapalit ng damit. Kaluluwa, believed to journey to the world after death. Matay ka, naniniwala sila na meron ka pang kaluluwa. Next is animism o animismo. Ay ang pinakababatayan nito ay ang paniniwala na lahat ng bagay sa kalikasan at ang mga bagay ay may spiritual na diwa na namamahala sa paraan ng pakikipag-ugnayan ng mga communities or environment. Bathalism naman ay Ang Bathalism ay focuses on Bathala, ang pinakamataas na lumikhang Diyos na namamahala sa buong universe. Ang sistemang ito ay magkakasama at maraming katutubong grupo sa Luzon ang patuloy na sumasagawa or nagsasagawa ng mga tradisyon na kaugnay nito.
Ritual and ceremonies. Rituals serve as a means of communication with the sacred and one personal spiritual practice in nature, and also offer such a connection. Rituals and particularly effective for community individual work. Archaeological evidence show that rituals have been a part of human history since ancient times, with the complex rituals already in place during the Neolithic era. Contemporary rituals are rooted in traditional shamanic practice, which emphasize the development of relationship with ancient force, the power of cosmos, including those associated with the nature and its phenomena. The shaman's task in the communicate with their force of establish relationship to promote harmony and balance in the community. Earth spirit ritual word and certain locations are considered more powerful for this purpose, the other making them popular site for pilgrimage and visionary guests, as time were enacted by priests and hierophants. These rituals have been handed down through generation and preserved by organized such as spiritual prayer networks and mystery group world today. Rituals are valuable tools for achieving success, health, and happiness when used as part of collective plan with defined goal and performed for the collective. Sabi dito, ang mga ritual ay nagsisilbing paraan ng pakikipag-ugnayan sa sagrado na epektibo para sa komunidad at individual. Mula pa noong sinaunang panahon or Neolithic era, ang mga ito ay nakaugat sa shamanic practice na naglalayong nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga person ng kalikasan upang magdala ng balanse. Mga ritual na ito ay nagpapasa naging organisado at ginamit ngayon para sa kalusugan, tagumpay at kabutihang panlay. And sa ceremonies naman ay mga formal na nagdiriwang o ritual na may partikular na layunin o kahalagan. Ito ay mga may special na okasyon, may mga tradisyon, ritual at simbolismo. And meron din tayong 5 halimbawa sa ritual. Ito ay yung prayer ritual or ritual na pagdasal. And pangalawa, handshake o bow, ritual ng pagbati o paggalang. And food sharing, ritual na pagbahagi ng pagkain. And candle lighting, ritual na pagsindi ng kandila. And last, license burning, ritual na pagsunog ng lisensa. And meron din tayong 3 halimbawa sa ceremonies. And una, wedding ceremony, seremonya ng pag-asawa. And pangalawa, sa graduation ceremony, seremonya ng mga nagtatapos na. And sa award ceremony, seremonya ng pag-award ng parangal.
The concept of dungon and ginawa, spirit or soul. Our ancestors believed in the existence of spirit, force of nature, and this is ancestral souls. The belief in the soul or life force is to their central traditions. According to the Babaylan, a A living person has a dungan inside their body, which gives life, animation, and sensibilities. Meanwhile, the ginhawa is another spirit that resides in the person and is responsible for the vital force. The two entities are always together, but dungan can temporarily live to the body during sleep. If the dungan does not return, the person dies. The babaylan can perform a ritual to help the soul of the deceased person to proceed to the world of undead, known as patulod. However, if the family wants to awake the soul of undead, a babaylan who specialize in the pukaw, who can write, be called upon. Meanwhile, the Catholic Church does not approve of this ancestral practice. Our ancestors believed humans have two spiritual elements, the dungan and the ginhawa. The dungan is considered the soul or the spirit that gives a person consciousness. Meanwhile, the ginhawa represent the life force, breath, or the vitality of the person. But in the tradition, Filipino believe a babaylan has the power of perform rituals. They can guide the soul of a dead person to the spirit world. It's called patugon. Called patulod. So it can peacefully move to the afterlife. Some babaylan also perform a ritual called pukaw, which attempts to awaken or call back the soul. However, when the Catholicism spread in the Philippines, the Catholic Church rejected these indigenous rituals because they conflict the Christian teachings.
Good day everyone, my name is Alyssa Macy Crisostomo. Nature of rituals. Thought often seen as rigid, rituals are flexible and guided by ritualists' intention. Their original structure may be set aside to receive undesired blessings, as they work with spiritual forces to address community needs. Nature of rituals. Example: a village holds a ritual to end drought. They start with traditional prayers and offerings, but when a clouds appear, the leaders change course, having everyone dance and sing. Instead, this flexible shift helps bring rain to help the community. Types of rituals. Groundbreaking. Honor earth for new construction and change safety and success. Example: when building a new barangay hall in Laguna, elders bury coins and seeds to honor the earth. Workers say accidents are rare during construction. Earth healing. Rectify harmful geopathic stress linked to health issues and inconvenience may take hours, days. Example: a street bacolod has many illnesses. Crash is a protectioner used dancing to feed problem spot barriers, bless stone and issues slow down. space clearing, remove stagnant or negative energies in environment that cause problem and repel unwanted spiritual forces. Example, an old house in Tagaytay feels heavy. A ritualist burns herbs and harns garlic. The new family says it now feels bring and safe. Commercial dedication boosts business opportunities, property, and efficient even in challenging financial scenarios. Example, a small store in Pasig is slow. They place in cash register and invite customer to share food. Sales go up soon after. Blessings. Bestow powers, influence, prepare space, or increase success. Change often public and aesthetic. Example, a new public market in Iloilo is blessed with flowers and prayers. The event brings the community together and vendors hope for good business. Healing ensure. Successful recovery can be done in person and remotely. Healing space are clear blessed. Example, a person in Cebu with back pain can travel healer uses their photo bliss oil for them to rub on the area and pain misses. Fertility. Assist couples with conception difficulties. Example, a couple in Baguio can conceive. They join a ritual with flowers and offerings to goddess of childbirth, then get pregnant. Prosperity. Increase income, support career, and resolve financial emotional ties to money. Example, a driver in Manila struggles financially. They place a lucky charm in their vehicle and thank customer daily, more rides and better pay follow. Marriage. Strengthen relationships and community bonds, part of broader social mechanism include assistors. A couple in Davao ties hands with court during their wedding, offers food to assistor, and says their union will help their clans. Number 10. Soul retrieval. Address long-standing obstacles from soul fragmentation due to trauma, reintegrate lost soul parts. Example, a woman in Cagayan lost joy after a typhoon. Shaman used drum beats to find her lost soul part, and she feels like herself again.
Hi everyone, I am Jeremy Nabo from Black Ink. Today we talk about religion and witchcraft, magic and sorcery in the Philippines. This slide explains that magic and witchcraft have been part of Filipino culture since before the Spanish colonization. In the past, many Filipinos believed in supernatural practices such as hula, which is a type of sorcery performed by a mangkukulam using spells, codes, curses, or rituals. Some also believe in gayuma, a love potion used to make someone fall in love. These slides also explain the differences between a mangkukulam and an albularyo. Perform harmful magic or curses, while an albularyo is a traditional healer who uses herbs, rituals, and prayers to treat illnesses and remove curses. And even though modern medicine and technology are now widely used, these traditional beliefs are still considered an important part of Filipino culture and history. And they remind us of the practices and beliefs of our ancestors. And the last slide is finding and creating meaning. 3 ways of discovering meaning in life. These slides talk about the idea of finding and creating meaning in life. Based on the theory of Viktor Frankl, Frankl believed that people are motivated by a will to meaning, which means that humans naturally want to find purpose and meaning in their lives. Even during difficult situations, according to Frank, there are 3 main ways to discover meaning in life. The first way is by creating something, such as doing meaningful work, helping others, or accomplishing something important. When people create or achieve something valuable, they feel that their life has purpose. The second way is by experiencing something, or can include experiencing love, appreciating, or learning from other people. These experiences can give life deeper meaning. The third and the last way is by choosing a positive attitude toward suffering. Sometimes people experience pain, struggles, or challenges that they cannot control. Frank believed that even these difficult moments, people can still find meaning by choosing how they respond to the situation. And that's all, everyone. Thank you.